1. The Alcatraz Escape, 1962. Alcatraz Federal Penitentiary was considered inescapable, surrounded by freezing waters, strong currents, and heavily guarded. But in 1962, Frank Morris, along with brothers John and Clarence Anglin, defied all odds. Frank Morris was a brilliant mastermind with an IQ of 133. He, along with the Anglin brothers, planned the escape for months, carefully studying the prison's weaknesses. The plan began when the trio noticed a vent in their cells that led to an unused maintenance corridor. Using stolen spoons and makeshift drills, they chipped away at the wall for months. Each night, they hid the holes with cardboard and paint, making sure the guards wouldn't notice. But one of the most genius elements of their escape was the dummy heads they created. Using papier-mâché, real human hair, taken from the prison barbershop, and soap, they sculpted realistic heads, placing them on their pillows at night. This way, during nighttime bed checks, the guards believed the men were asleep in their cells. On June 11, 1962, the night of the escape, the men crawled through the holes and into the corridor. They climbed up the pipes and made it onto the roof, careful to avoid the guard patrols. Their final challenge was the water. They had secretly stitched together raincoats to create a makeshift raft and life jackets. The next morning, the guards discovered the dummies in their beds. The prison went into full lockdown. For decades, the fate of the three men remained a mystery. Officially, authorities claimed they drowned in the bay, but no bodies were ever found. However, in 2013, a letter surfaced, allegedly from John Anglin, stating that all three survived but had lived in hiding. The FBI never confirmed its authenticity, keeping the mystery alive. 2. The Texas Seven, 2000. The Texas Seven were a group of dangerous criminals, each serving long sentences for murder, robbery, and violent crimes. Their escape from the John B. Connolly unit in Texas was so well-planned and aggressive that it became one of the most notorious prison breaks in U.S. history. On December 13, 2000, the 7 inmates tricked a guard into letting them out of their cells by pretending one of them needed help. Once free, they ambushed multiple officers, tied them up, and stole their uniforms, weapons, and ID badges. The prisoners used radios to impersonate guards, unlocking doors one by one. They walked out of the building, blending in with the real staff. Once outside, they stole a prison truck and fled the facility. For 6 weeks, they were on the run, committing armed robberies and even killing a police officer. However, the FBI tracked them to Colorado, where one of the inmates took his own life rather than be caught. The others were arrested and sentenced to death. 3. The Great Escape, 1944. During World War II, Stalag Luft III, a Nazi-run prison camp, held hundreds of Allied soldiers. But these men weren't just prisoners. They were engineers, pilots, and strategists. They hatched an escape plan so elaborate that it inspired the famous movie, The Great Escape. The plan involved digging 3 tunnels named Tom, Dick, and Harry. These tunnels were deep underground, reinforced with stolen bedboards to prevent collapse. To dispose of dirt without getting caught, prisoners hid it in their pants, slowly releasing it while walking around the yard. After a year of digging, on March 24, 1944, the escape began. The first man crawled through the tunnel, emerging just short of the nearby forest. They had miscalculated the exit point. Still, 76 prisoners managed to escape before the guards discovered the tunnel. Tragically, only 3 men made it to safety. 50 others were executed when caught, and the rest were returned to the prison. Despite this, their effort and bravery remain legendary. 4. Richard Lee McNair's Mailbag. Escape, 2006. Richard Lee McNair was a master escape artist. Convicted of murder, burglary, and attempted escape, McNair had already escaped twice before pulling off his most famous escape in 2006. While working in the prison mailroom, McNair built a secret hiding space inside a large mailbag. He climbed inside, sealing it shut. Prison workers unknowingly transported the mailbag, with McNair inside, to a warehouse outside the prison. Once clear, McNair cut his way out of the bag and walked away. For 18 months, he evaded capture, even convincing a police officer during a traffic stop that he was just a jogger. He was finally captured in Canada in 2007. 6. The Libby Prison Escape, 1864. During the American Civil War, 109 Union soldiers escaped from Libby Prison, a Confederate-run POW camp. Conditions were horrific, with prisoners starving and suffering disease. Led by Colonel Thomas Rose, the prisoners dug a tunnel for months, using knives and broken tools to slowly make their way underneath the prison walls. On February 9, 1864, 109 men crawled through the tunnel and escaped into the city of Richmond. While 48 were recaptured, 59 made it to Union territory, making it one of the largest mass escapes in history. 7. Pascal Payet's helicopter escape, 2007. Pascal Payet was a notorious French criminal who managed not one but two daring helicopter escapes. In 2001, his gang hijacked a helicopter, forced the pilot to fly to a prison, and landed on the rooftop. Within minutes, they grabbed Payet and escaped. After his recapture, authorities kept moving him between prisons to prevent another breakout. But in 2007, masked men hijacked another helicopter and pulled off the same stunt again. Payet was caught 3 months later. He is now in an undisclosed prison, with his every move kept top secret to stop future escapes.